you have 6 novels out, and have all 6 hit the bestseller list?
They've hit bestseller lists.
So
Yes.
what is the formula for a bestseller? What do you need to write
Nobody
about?
knows. Nobody knows. If I could tell you that, I would have to kill you. I have
Yeah.
no idea. I don't know how it happens. I mean, I know it happens through sales,
Yeah.
but you have to you can't just be someone who writes the book. You have to know how to promote yourself, do PR and marketing. My publishing house does that for me, but I also do it for myself, and I hire a publicist outside of my publishing house, who you know,
Mhm.
Kathleen Carter,
Yeah.
who's amazing. And I work really hard to make sure that everyone knows about my book. I post on social media, I do giveaways, I send out emails. I actually partner with a brand for each of my books, which I don't know any authors aside from myself that do this. So I've partnered with nail polish brands, lipstick brands. I've partnered with general makeup brands. I've partnered with Canyon Ranch, with Perfectly Famous. I partnered with Waffle, which is a intimate brand, bras and underwears, and we launched a campaign called The Perfect Fit, which is your perfect fit book and your perfect fit bra and undies.
That's smart. That's very
And
smart. Very smart. And
I
I
did
saw
a
your
bunch.
Instagram. It's really well done.
I
Like
did
it's
a
very
bunch
well
of
done.
vignettes for the brand about being fitted for a bra and what kind of bra you wear when you're working out, when you're getting dressed up. We did one very interesting vignette where I was posing in my waffle bra and underwear on my porch at sunrise with no makeup on. My very talented friend, Jen Goldberg, who's a photographer, she has a private portrait part of her company, which is sort of boudoir photography. And during the pandemic, she was doing front porch photos at sunrise. And we decided it would be great to bring this into the Waffle partnership. And so I posed for her series in my Waffle bra and underwear. After that, I noticed that a lot of people that were posing for her were in robes and nightgowns and pajamas. I was told you were supposed to be in your bra and underwear. Just how you woke up. So, since I was one of the
Whatever.
first,
It was
here
you're
I
being your
was.
honest, true self. That's all that matters, right?
That is for sure. And this is my honest truth self too. This is zero makeup. This is exactly how I woke up this morning, with messy hair and no makeup. So this is me. Take it or leave it.
No, it's good. That's how you got to be. And I think that, I've seen every time I speak about just marketing, obviously not just marketing books, but just marketing in general, it's always about being like authentic, because that's what people get. Like, not that they
There's
buy
that
into it.
girl.
It's just real. It's just real. You know?
There's this girl right here who's also me, but that's me with hair and makeup.
And how did you, I guess my question is, this is a funny, okay, so the reason why I'm asking this is because I see a lot of people that sell books or sell products, and they don't quite get everything you just mentioned about how to market, how to be personal, how to be authentic, partnerships and all this stuff. And you do see it obviously at the upper echelons, but it takes a lot to get there. But you're just sort of taking this on your own. Where did you learn to do this? Where did you learn to market? How did you sort of understand that this is how you bring a book or a product to, and you're doing IG, like you're doing Instagram lives, like you're doing everything. Like you're
um,
killing
you
it.
know, Thank you. I think it's all a progression. It doesn't all come at once, but when I wrote Facebook Fairy Tales, I had a lot of luck getting publicity because it was about Facebook. Facebook was exploding in the media. It was sort of this chicken soup for the soul
Hmm.
kind of book, these amazing stories, and people eat that stuff up. They
Yeah.
love to hear about that. And so as you read before, I was on the Today Show, I was on Rachel Ray, Anderson Cooper, and I got so much attention for that book. And when I wrote a novel, I was told immediately, do not expect this kind of publicity for a novel. And I thought to myself, well, that makes sense. There aren't these sort of aspects to it, like the Facebook aspect, the Mark Zuckerberg aspect, the amazing stories aspect. It's just a book that came from my mind. And there are a lot of authors with a lot of novels. So I knew I had to do something to set myself apart. And somewhere in this brain of mine, I came up with the idea of approaching a nail polish company and seeing if they would make a nail polish set named after the book and after my characters that we could send to everybody in the press and do giveaways with, and I could bring to my event. And it just really worked amazingly. And I worked with a company called Zoya, which makes amazing nail polish. And it got the book so much publicity outside of book websites or book, magazines that write articles. It was in like in Style Magazine and on Refinery 29 and in Pop Sugar and all these places where something, just a book, might not get attention, but all of a sudden there's this nail polish set and the polishes are named for my characters and it's cute sort of tie-in. So that worked really well. I also knew to hire a publicist outside of my publishing house because while the publicists at the publishing house are amazing, they have 10, 15, God knows how many books they're working on at the same time.
Yeah.
So I stuck with the partnerships after that, the brand partnership, and I just knew I had to be really good on social media. I knew that creating good, interesting content was really important because you have to think about what you like to see in other people's content. And I think people want to see the real you and they want to see you talking and what are you wearing and what are you eating and what is your life like outside of writing books, what do you do with your kids, and also like that you're not perfect and you're not that girl on the book with your hair blown out and your perfect makeup, and I don't know, they probably took away half my wrinkles too in some like Photoshop thing that they do with those pictures. And specifically, when I realized, which I fortunately realized very early on during the pandemic, that I was not going to be able to do a physical book tour, which I did already have set up, I pivoted. And this was, I knew in April. I think so many people were holding out, saying, June's going to be fine. It's still 2 months away. You're going to be fine. And my husband and I were sitting here saying, there is no way I'm going on book tour in June. And I pivoted and I set up probably close to like 30 events for myself, different anything from Zoom events to Instagram lives. And I also really tried to mix it up. Like I tried to do some lives with bookstagrammers. I did some with celebrities. I kicked it off with Melissa Joan Hart, which was great. And we did it pre-publication. I did one with Lindsay Zarniak, who's a sportscaster. And I did some with people who do beauty and books. There were just a lot of interesting, I did one with one of the Real Housewives, Margaret Joseph. There were a lot of interesting personalities, interesting people. I've done a bunch of podcasts, interviews for magazines, newspapers. You have to saturate. You have to make sure people are just seeing the book over and over because, as I'm sure you know, in marketing, people don't always buy the book the first time they see it, but the 10th time they see it, they're wondering, why have I seen this book 10 times?
Yeah, it takes quite a bit. It takes quite a bit of exposure before somebody actually makes, and it obviously depends on what the dollar value of the item is. But even for something that's only like, how much is the book? Like $20, $30 at most?
I think mine are 15.
No, 15. So
15 or 16.
Even 15. It's going to be, you're so oversaturated.
$15.99.
Yeah, you'll have to see that book a few times before you're like, oh wait, who is this? Who is this woman? I see her everywhere. I see this book everywhere, and then eventually
I do a lot of giveaways to get more people to follow me. The more people that follow you, the more people you can reach.
Yeah, no, very very smart.
My posts sometimes so that I can reach wider groups of people and cast the net wider.
No, but it's very smart. I just I noticed that I didn't realize that you were doing a lot of this stuff yourself. So it just it's even more impressive because it's really well done. Like
Thank you.
it's really, really well done. And I think that you're nailing it. And like, I think that's a differentiator that a lot of people that do their own thing could be writing a book. It could be any side hustle. Like the ability to access people through social and being personal and being human and being your authentic self and marketing that can drive massive traffic, even if you don't have like $1 million ad budget, right? And I think that's what you're sort of showcasing here. It's
I
and you were
definitely
so
don't have
smart
a
about
million dollar ad budget.
it. Well, you're
This
doing a good
is my
job with that.
money maker. This face with no makeup on.
Um, I have one more question just about the book and
Sure.
publishing and writing, and then I just have some rapid fire just about insights that you've learned from your life. So just one sort of roundup question. What's something, or is there something that I should have asked you about writing or publishing that I don't know enough about the topic to ask you that you would say people should sort of take note of?
I think one thing that people who are looking to write a book need to know about is rejection. I hate to say it, but there's a lot of rejection in this industry. I think becoming an author is almost like saying, I'm going to become an actress or I'm going to become, I don't know, a chef or something where there are a lot of talented people competing and doing the same thing. And I think that you have to develop a tough skin. And that's my dog making noises in the background,
It
by the
doesn't
way.
matter. This is the
Um,
new reality.
I
This is
know,
work from
right?
home. It's not a big deal.
I think you have to develop a thick skin and you have to know how to be knocked down and brush yourself off and pick yourself back up. Another thing is sometimes books get turned into TV shows or movies. And Pretty Revenge came out last July, was optioned for a television series, and some fabulous writers were hired. So that is in the works now. And
Congratulations. That's
fingers
amazing.
crossed, grain of salt, until it is on the air, I don't believe it. But it's always fun to have someone at least think that your book could be a television show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that just
So,
shows you like, just do, and then as you're saying, like with your marketing, you're pivoting and you're sort of learning, but you're also opening yourself up to other opportunities that weren't initially presented. So those are two great lessons, even and especially the rejection one. I think that's very important, not from a, like not to not try, but just be realistic about expectations.